So in this new world of AI-driven development, code just appears, right? Faster than we've ever seen. But what happens when all that speed creates a system you just don't understand anymore? Today, we're going to dig into a tool called ArchToCode, which is designed to do exactly what the title says, tame that chaos.
Let's just start with the question that's probably on a lot of our minds, maybe keeping some of us up at night. You're using these incredible AI tools, code is just flying onto the screen, but there's this little nagging feeling, isn't there? Are you still the architect of your own system, or have you kind of become a passenger?
And this is exactly why that feeling is so real. I mean, we're talking about models like Claude or Copilot or Cursor. They can pump out code faster than any human can possibly read it, let alone stop and critically think about it. The sheer volume is it's staggering, and it is completely changing how we build things.
Yeah, this has actually led to a whole new style of working. People are calling it vibe coding. You know the feeling? You're in the zone with your AI assistant, just riffing, iterating based on prompts and ideas. It's incredibly powerful for sure, but it absolutely comes with a hidden cost.
And this chaos, it's not some abstract idea. Just imagine for a second you're working on an e-commerce checkout flow. After maybe a dozen AI-driven changes, you suddenly realize you have 3 different payment verification paths all tangled up. You've got hidden dependencies, redundant logic, and you've accidentally built a system where the core logic is now a black box. It's a mess you can't even begin to grasp logically.
So how are we supposed to manage this? Well, here's the tough part. The tools we've all relied on for years, they're starting to buckle under the pressure of this new speed.
And this comparison right here is everything. Think about traditional diagrams. They're static snapshots. You draw one, and the second the code changes, boom, it's obsolete. They're manual, they take forever to make, and worst of all, they don't show you how the logic actually flows through your system. What we really need is a live, dynamic view that's generated straight from the code itself.
Okay, so what about code review? I mean, that's the bedrock of quality, right? But it's a linear process in a world that's anything but. You're looking at diffs, file by file, focusing on tiny line-level details. You literally can't see the huge architectural shifts happening under the hood. It's like trying to inspect a skyscraper by looking at one brick at a time. It doesn't scale anymore.
So if our old ways of seeing the problem are failing us, well, we need a new way to perceive our code bases. And this is exactly where a tool like ArchToCode steps into the frame.
The promise here is pretty powerful. Turn your code base into an open book. And this isn't about just drawing pretty pictures of your code. This is about making all that hidden logic and those complex interactions totally visible and understandable. Basically, at a glance.
And you know, it's not just talk. It's backed up by some really powerful features. We're talking about generating over 16 different diagram types, flowcharts, sequence diagrams, you name it, using more than 30 pre-built templates. It hooks right into your repos, whether they're on GitHub or sitting on your local machine. You can even plug in your own AI provider or analyze private code totally securely. But here's the kicker. The diagrams are fully interactive. You can click, explore, and just drill down into the logic.
And that really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? We're moving way beyond static documentation. These are intelligent, living maps of your system that actually reflect reality and tell you the impact of every single change you make.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like? Let's just quickly walk through the workflow that promises to put you back in the driver's seat.
First things first, you connect your code. It's a secure process, and it works with local folders, which is great for privacy, or you can just link it to a GitHub repo for convenience. No more manually copying and pasting files around.
Next up, instead of sitting there trying to dream up the perfect magic prompt, you start with a whole library of templates. These are designed to answer the real architectural questions you have, like want to see the user onboarding flow or maybe the error recovery logic? Yep, there's a prompt for that.
And bam, there it is. The AI analyzes your code based on the prompt you picked and generates this super clear, logical map. You're not looking at a list of files and folders anymore. You are seeing the actual flow of logic.
And it doesn't just stop there. This map is completely interactive. You can click on any component and regenerate the whole diagram from that new point of view, or you can drill down to get an even more detailed diagram. It's an active exploration, not just a passive picture.
So what does all this mean in the real world? I mean, a tool is only as good as the problems it actually solves. So let's take a look at who really benefits from having this new layer of perception.
Okay, if you're a tech lead or a senior architect, this is basically your new command center. You can finally see the architectural impact of all that AI-generated code, and you can see it in real time. You can spot potential design flaws and logical errors way before they get baked into the system for good.
And for all you teams out there who've fully embraced vibe coding, this is the safety net you've been missing. You get to keep all the speed and creativity of working with AI, but you get control back. That hidden chaos, it's suddenly visible, it's measurable, and it's manageable.
And oh my gosh, think about onboarding. A new person on the team can skip weeks, literally weeks, of painfully analyzing code line by line. On day one, they can see a high-level map of the whole system, understand how all the major pieces fit together, and get up to speed in a fraction of the time.
All of this really leads to one specific experience, a moment that people who use these kinds of tools often describe as a genuine aha moment, a real breakthrough. It's this moment of absolute clarity. You connect your own project, the one you've been grinding on for months, maybe even years. You generate that first logical map, and for the first time you see how it really works. Not how you think it works or how some old diagram says it works, but how the logic actually flows. It's that moment where you can finally see the signal through all the noise.
And that brings us right back to this fundamental idea. This isn't about documentation that gets stale the minute you create it. This is about a living, breathing understanding of your system that is always aligned with the ground truth, the code itself.
So we're going to end right where we started, with a question. In this new era of agentic engineering, where AI can write and refactor and even deploy code, what's our role? Well, tools like this suggest an answer. The AI can be the coder, sure, but you, with the right perspective, you get to remain the architect.